Listen, yes, marriage is a beautiful thing, but I gotta be 100% with you. If you're not married when you join the military and you're thinking about getting married when you join the military, or if you're married right now and you're thinking about joining the military, please watch this video. Please. Welcome back to Military Bred, where we talk to military people and discuss military things. I'm your host, Patrick Montgomery, aka Mott, and if this is your first time tuning in to the channel, please like and subscribe. Click the bell notification to be notified whenever new content is being uploaded. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And, you know, we got a little sage burning. Man, because this conversation that we finna talk about finna be, you know, a little saucy. But listen, it's oftentimes I hear so many people talking about, I want to join the military or whatever to better my family, you know, to better my relationship, to get, you know, be able to travel, see the world, have health insurance, you know, things of that nature. But it's oftentimes we look at all the good things and we don't not once think about the repercussions that can follow outside of the good things, the cons. But this is something that's been on my heart for quite some time, and I feel a lot of people, they may be looking at the glass, they really not looking at it fully close because they're so focused on the things that they can benefit from it. But let's talk about some negatives that I feel like that can happen once you get married, or, you know, if you're thinking about marriage in the military. Now, from my perspective, the military and marriage is like oil and water. And this is why. It's a lot of things in the military that I feel that doesn't line up with marriage. And one of the things in particular is getting deployed or going to the field for X amount of time. A marriage takes time and effort to nurture, to be able to build that trust, to be able to build that connection. And oftentimes being in the military, I feel like they don't give you that time. They honestly don't provide an environment that's conducive to a marriage. Every single time you turn around, you know, you're in the field or you got to go to some training or, you know, you got to go to the field last minute. But what's going to happen when you already got plans for your family? You got plans with your wife or whatever to do different things, to spend time with them, you know, having a movie night, going on a picnic, doing these different things. But when you having to cancel it every single time, are you thinking about the damage that it's doing to your spouse? Do you know what's it doing to the mindset? Like, legit, it's so many times before. And again, I preach this all the time, even when it comes down to deployments or whatever. Man, coming home to, you know, to Joey and that thing, or coming home to an empty house is so common. It's so common, and people really don't even understand. And yes, this can happen outside the military, but oftentimes we see it in the military the most. It's one instance that I remember in particular, whatever, that happened back in Fort Stewart. One soldier came home from being deployed, didn't hear anything from their wife that day of. The soldier was trying to surprise the spouse, but little did they know when they got home, it was another man in his bed. And that ended up driving him to killing the man that was in his bed, killing himself. I don't think he killed his wife, but think about how traumatizing that can be to come home and to see your spouse in bed with someone else. You're over there making money. You're over there living out your career, and you come home to something like this. It will mess you up. It'll traumatize you. And a lot of people don't understand that, how that can affect the mindset of a marriage moving forward. It creates damage. It creates, honestly, a sort of PTSD simply because this is something you never expected to happen. Someone that you expect supposed to love you for better and for worse, and now they putting you in a position like this, like it's messed up. But a lot of people feel like, oh, you know, marriage is the best thing that you could do in the military. Yes, from an insurance standpoint, yes, for getting to see the world, but in all actuality, does that spouse or significant other have a backbone to be able to hold you down when the heat is turned up? Like, legit, it's so crazy. And, you know, not even down in the military spouse or whatever, but even when it get down to the military personnel, the soldier, you been deployed with your fellow soldiers for X amount of time, for months at end, and you mean to tell me that you not catching feelings for, you know, whoever around you 24/7. If you're around a certain individual for X amount of time, it's undeniable. It's human psychology. You're going to catch feelings, or you're going to feel some type of way. You're gonna have needs that need to be met that your spouse can't meet them simply because, you know, they're miles away. You're gonna give that attention, that energy to someone else. And no, I'm not saying this for everybody who's gonna go through it, but at the same time, we gotta think about human nature. And I really have to look at the military different, is because they orchestrate the whole thing. They always want to play devil advocate when things go wrong between marriages or whatever. They want to play mediator. Y'all gonna have to do this. This is what's gonna have to happen moving forward in between y'all. But it really don't make sense. Like legit, not saying that the military need to be all 100% for the soldier, but at the same time, if y'all want everything as far as a marriage to succeed, y'all need to be providing an environment that a marriage can actually grow. Man, I've seen so many negative things happen with marriages in the military, and it's crazy. Like one of my boys in particular, and hey, hopefully he don't feel some type of way that I'm about to talk about it, but it was one thing, like I used to see this man come over all the time, you know, him and his wife came over with their kid and whatever. And they oftentimes, you know, had a little altercation back and forth or whatever, but you know, I try to be the middle ground, you know, kind of step in. Hey, bro, it ain't that serious, you know. Hey, just let your girl know this, to find some middle ground. But it was often times where I seen the toxic environment that they had between the two. And a lot of times from hearing both sides of the situation, it seemed like everything was pretty much orchestrated by the military. But aside from that, going deeper into the whole scenario, it was times where it's times where, you know, he had to go to the field or whatever. And the crazy thing was he loved the military. I mean, I ain't never seen somebody love the military as much as he did. But he also loved his family. But it was oftentimes like where he needed to decompress from a bunch of the stressful work and he wasn't able to decompress. So again, going into it, he was home one day or whatever, you know, just playing the video game, just trying to, you know, decompress or whatever. But his girl needed time and he wasn't having it. He was like, you know, after I play this video game or whatever, then, you know, I'll come give you some time. But she wasn't feeling it. She wasn't feeling it. She wanted the time right then and there. But at the same time, this man got to decompress. He got to get all this negative energy off him or whatever. Like, we don't want to bring that negative energy around you. So, man, let us decompress. But, you know, he getting all this energy off him and all this kind of other stuff. And she just wasn't going for it. So instead of, you know, waiting patiently until after everything was said and done, she was just like, well, I'm going to just nip this in the bud right here and right now. So she poured a drink on his video game, and that just really, you know, sent him up in arms. And he was just like, you know, trying to de-escalate the situation or whatever. And then before you know it, she done spit on it. Like, she done spit on this man. Like, I'm not going to say how bad the situation was, but I feel that is the ultimate disrespect that you can do someone, is to spit on them. But the first time, you know, he kind of deflected or whatever, you know, he was like, all right, you know, go chill out. You need to cool off or so forth. But after he said it, she spit on him again. Now, at this point, like, in my mind, I'm like, dang, I don't even think it would have got that far. She would have spit one time, it would have been OV. But she ended up spitting on him that second time. Then at that point, you know, he's trying to walk away. And at that moment, as soon as he's trying to walk away, she made sure to turn him around and she spit on him again. But at that point, that is where he blacks out and everything just go for a turn. Everything just really shift and it go from good to bad. Like, from that point, the last thing he told me is he blacked out. And from the time he blacked out, fast forward, now this has landed him getting court-martialed out the military. Like, he didn't even see it coming. But what are you supposed to do when your back is against the wall? When you stressed? When you just got to decompress, but your spouse ain't ready to let you, you know, have that time for yourself because they want the time. And I understand life is about finding balance, but oftentimes in the military, it's hard to find that balance. It's hard to have time for yourself. It's hard to have time for yourself and your family and your spouse. It's a lot. But oftentimes, a lot of people in the military and a lot of military spouses, they don't see that. And I understand, like, oftentimes I didn't know why so many people would be like thanking the military man for their service, but also thanking the spouses, because they go hand in hand. Like, legit, the military is a battle for the spouses and the servicemen. But with that being said, I don't understand why so many people will want to get married, honestly, join the military, being married, because of all these different things. It's toxic. You can't expect your significant other to be faithful when they're not given a faithful environment. Man, it's so many people that's effing around in the military, and it's crazy. You seeing first sergeants with specialists, you seeing commanders fucking around with their fucking PV2s. Stuff get wild in the military. It's the wild, wild west. What you expect to have a positive marriage? It's not going to happen. I don't care how many benefits that they throw at you. I don't care how many stories that you may have heard of things working out. Chances are, if you're in the military right now, and you know, hey, I'll go hand in hand to say it. If you're in the military right now and you married, good luck. I don't know how long that's gonna last. And I'm not even trying to be negative, but come on, think about it. You not given the right environment to expect a good outcome. This is a topic I really felt like it needed to be heard. And I really just want to kind of hear your feedback on it. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Am I wrong for thinking that the military and marriage is not a mix whatsoever? I feel like the military person is for single people. If you're going to be single, you're okay with being single, man, join the military. It's cool. I feel like you can live a wonderful bachelor life, but try to have a family in the military, no bueno. No bueno. But let me hear what you guys think. Let me hear if you think that, you know, being married in the military, is it worth it? Is it not? In my eyes, I don't think it's worth it. Should you do it? I don't think so. Can it work? Maybe. But let's hear your feedback with you guys. I mean, drop down in the comment. Let me know what you guys think. Because really, I just really want to know, is it worth it? Something to think about. But let me know what you guys think in the comment or whatever. And, you know, we'll go from there. Hey, again, thank you guys for tuning in to Military Bred. Hey, see you guys next time. Hey, but without any further ado, man, let's eat.